Hello everyone, this is Lenny from Code with Lenny Len, and in this 19th Pygame tutorial I'm going to show you how we can write text on the screen. And in the last tutorial we made this function called write to screen, and in this tutorial I'm going to actually use it and explain everything to do with this function. So in Pygame you want to write something on the screen. Make a function, it will be much easier with a function. You can still do this way, that is using only that stuff without necessarily having to write the function, but I'm going to show you why it's necessary to use a function and why functions are awesome in Python. So first we write to screen, we pass three parameters, so in brackets that's going to be taken as one parameter, so you're going to count 1, 2 and finally 3. I assume that you have learned Python basics already. If you have not, please check out YouTube tutorials. There are a lot of tutorials coming up. Maybe some I'll make for Python basics, maybe, but for now you can check out YouTube. There are tons of tutorials out there. So as I was talking and as I was saying, we have three parameters in our function, and the first one is text. So basically this is what you want to write on the screen. You can write anything. You can maybe say my name is Lenny or something, and I'm going to show you how we can use this function. Let me just explain quickly. Then the color, we already defined our colors up here somewhere, so we just call the color, and you can put the RGB value, but we already defined the colors, no need. And the position X and Y, so just as we position our paddles and the ball in our screen, that's the same way you're going to position the ball, the text on the screen. The text is taken as a rectangle, and let me show you what this means. So in Windows you just say paint, and you're going to see this awesome program that I love using. So here we have paint, and as I was saying, let me just write something. Let me write maybe Pygame. I underlined it and put some basic font color, but that's not of much use for now. Let me draw a rectangle around this, and maybe let me color it. It should be the exact same size as our text basically, and this is going to aid me in explaining. So in text we are actually drawing a rectangle around the text, and that's how Pygame works. You have the text, but the position of the text is defined by this position out here. So this position, that's the point at which the text starts from, and that's where you're going to count your pixels from. That's the position of the text. You have to remember this, keep this in mind. It's just like the way we drew our rectangles and much. So that's how the text is written on the screen. So remember the position X and Y, do know how to use them, just as I've already taught you or shown you how the text is written in Pygame and how it's perceived. It's actually perceived as a rectangle, so keep that in mind. Then we have the next line here, text is equals to string text. So in in Python, this string text is going to take anything and stringify it. Let me say stringify. So if you have something like 20, if you string it, it's going to have quotes around it, and it's going to be treated as a string. So that's what we need from the text, and this is because when you're writing on the screen, this has to be in string form. You cannot just write a number, so that's why we're taking down numbers, converting them to strings, but that's not going to affect anything in our game. And next we have font. So font is basically the way text is going to be written. You know many font, maybe Comic Sans, MS, you have Arial, you have Times New Roman, you have Papyrus, and so much fonts. You can just go to maybe a favorite word processor like Microsoft Word and check out some fonts. There are a lot of awesome fonts, but this is just how the text is going to be written on the screen. If you do not have any font, or you're not interested and you just want to use the system font, you can just say none, and it's going to use the predefined system font, but it's not going to look very smart. It's going to be kind of ugly, and that's why I define my own fonts. Another alternative font to Arial is Comic Sans MS, and I really love that one. So you just write Comic Sans MS. This is in Microsoft. I don't know about Linux distributions or something, but you just put your fonts there. And the size, so the font size, the size of the text, you can put 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and it's going to increase in size. We have text rate. This is another variable that I've just created, and it's going to render. So it's going to use this font object, and it's going to render all the text in this on the screen using this kind of font. So we just define the font, then use it here. Then render is actually rendering now, but you have to remember this is in background. We have to like show it on the screen. We have not yet put it on the screen. And what are we rendering? The text, basically. Remember, we stringified it here, and this is true. So this is like enable or disable. You can put it as another variable, but that will be complicated. That will be done in much complex games, but for now, to keep it simple, just remember this place is always true, just like saying always render my text. If you put it there false, you won't see your text. So always true. And the color of the text, that is the color of the text to be rendered. You want to see the color, maybe you want it to be in red or something, you just define it there. Then now we have screen.blit. So in the next tutorial, that's the next tutorial series, maybe in the next game, I'm going to show you what this blit means. It's actually for putting pictures on the screen. It's called block. What is it? I've forgotten it's an initial, but just remind you in the next tutorial. For now, you can remember, you just have to know blit is for putting imported things on the screen, things like images. And for now, because we are creating text, we have to blit it on our screen. So don't worry about blit, I'll cover it more in the next game series. And what are we blitting? This is a text, actually the text object that we created here, and it's going to follow the font and everything, and the position. So without further ado, let me write it on the screen and show you a basic example of writing. And for you to write anything on the screen, it has to be in the render, what is it called, render section? I don't know, maybe let me render it here. This should be let me render it there. So write to screen, what do I want to write for now? Let me write my game. And the color, oh my, do we have yellow? I think so, I don't know. And then the position, maybe 100 by 100. So let me confirm that yellow is there. If it's not, let me add it quickly. Oh yeah, we have yellow. And so we now have our color, we have a function set. I've explained everything. The .blit part is going to be covered in the next game series. For now, let's just check and run whether everything is okay. And what's up guys, as you can see, our text is on the screen, and that looks quite lovely. So let me just mess around with the fonts and show you how we can make our font size bigger or smaller. So that's why we needed this function, because we can use it to make a lot of other stuff. So let me put 50 and let's run to see. And definitely, as you can see, it's now bigger on the screen. So as you can remember, the position starts from this top left corner, so it will count 100 pixels across, 100 pixels down, and that's where it draws it. So in the next tutorial, I'm going to show you how we can now attach the scores to the screen and show them out nicely, and from there we'll know how to go on and where to move next to. So as for now, that's all guys. Stay tuned. If you have any question, and I say any questions, please put them at the comments, the comment section, and I'm going to reply as fast as possible and try to answer you. So stay tuned, and as always, thanks for watching.